Hey there, anime fans! Get ready for the ultimate breakdown of the strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army was a human. In this thrilling series, the Demon Lord's most powerful magician conceals a mind-blowing secret as he embarks on an epic journey filled with intense battles and a quest for coexistence. You won't want to miss this adventure. We kicks off with Ike, the formidable commander of the Undying Brigade. In an incredible display of power, Ike conquers an impregnable trading city in just 1 week.
我は魔王軍第7軍団所属不死旅団団長アイク。貴殿には3つの選択肢が残されている。
ほう、魔族のくせに温情をかけるか。だが俺にその選択はないぞ。
But who is Ike, really? We learn that he's the grandson of the esteemed Archmage Rombelk, a name that commands respect among the demons. However, there's a twist. Ike is originally a human from modern-day Japan. To avoid the wrath of the Demon King, Ike hides his true identity.
俺は人間でありながらロンベルクの気まぐれで拾われ育てられた。ロンベルクは知識と魔術の全てを俺に叩き込んだ。ただしいずれ災いをもたらすことになるからと滅びた文明のことは誰にも言うなと遺言を残した。
いいかアイクよ。いついかなる時もその仮面とローブを脱いではならんぞ。お前の正体がバレたら魔王は許さないだろう。
はい。
We also meet some intriguing characters. There's Sadi, Ike's loyal maid, always by his side. And then there's Sephiroth, the commander of the 7th Corps and Ike's superior. Not to mention the Demon Lord herself, Dairakuten, who adds a layer of complexity to Ike's already challenging life.
魔王第6点。この人はおそらくロンベルクと同じくかつてあった文明の存在を知ってる。その知識をもってして魔王軍に改革をもたらしたのだろう。
やはり貴様は他の魔族とは一味違う。今度は仮面の裏の本当の顔を見せてほしいものだ。さらなる働きを期待するぞ。精進せが我が軍の要じゃ。お前の任務はあの町を守り抜き税収を2倍にすることじゃ。
2倍？この戦乱の最中に？
なんなら3倍でも良いのだぞ。
団長！いつ人間が攻めてきてもおかしくないだろう。まったく、あの方は戦後のことなど考えもしない。
The episode gives us a sneak peek into the world's mechanics and highlights Ike's extraordinary magical abilities, making him both feared and revered. His immense power sets the stage for many epic battles to come.
8時間ずつ交代させることで24時間作業を止めず、さらには報奨金まで与えて士気を高めた。
As Ike navigates the delicate balance between his human nature and his role in the demon army, we're left wondering how long he can keep his secret. Time passed in the Dark Realm when one day Ike received a crucial message. The Demon King had appointed him to uncover the truth behind a suspected alliance forming among the human kingdoms. During the last battle, the demons faced a sizable human army, far too large to belong to a single kingdom. Sadi, now comfortable and loyal to Ike, was chosen to accompany him on this reconnaissance mission. Their journey began in the nearby human kingdom. The bustling marketplace was filled with people, and it wasn't long before Sadi got distracted by a trickster. But Ike, always vigilant, quickly exposed the scam, saving Sadi from being swindled.
メイドが主人をほったらかして何してんだ？
As they walked, Ike shared his suspicions. He believed the humans were indeed forming an alliance. He explained that throughout history, humans have united against a common threat like the Demon King, setting aside their differences. 3 times in history, humans had forged such alliances, defeating the demon army each time and pushing them back to their dark castle. Sadi, confused, asked if the humans would win this time too. Ike, taken aback, realized she had no love for humans who had enslaved her. She saw the demons as her saviors.
人間の世界では奴隷の子は一生奴隷です。私はあそこにいる子供たちのようになるでしょう。
Before they could continue, the trickster, now angry, confronted Ike alongside a hefty goon. Accusations flew, and Ike, fed up, resorted to magic. Ike's ice magic froze the goon's feet, shocking the trickster. Ike demanded information about the kingdom's happenings, and fearing for his life, the trickster revealed crucial details about the human alliance and a planned attack by the kingdom of Rosaria on the city of Aram.
小同盟の前にローザリア王国ここにありと宣言しておきたいんだろうな。
Armed with this intelligence, Ike and Sadi hurried back to their city. That evening, the Rosarian battalion launched their surprise attack on Aram. But the city was ready. Skeletons emerged from the ground, arrows rained down, and orcs ambushed the Rosarian soldiers. Their leader Ali realized too late that they had walked into a trap. Watching from the walls, Lord Piggy praised Ike for averting the surprise attack. But before Ike could respond, an arrow struck him from behind, rendering him unconscious. Ike awoke to find Saphiro by his side. She had healed him just in time. She warned him that the Demon Lord might grow suspicious of the minimal human casualties, but Ike's goal remained clear: a world where humans and demons could coexist.
俺は人間と魔族の共生を目指してるんです。それはこれからも変わりません。
The next morning, Ike decided to meet the imprisoned human commander. Accompanied by his underling Lily, they sneaked into the prison. Despite Ike's caution, Lily's impatience led her to beat the guards and secure the keys. As Ike advanced, he encountered more guards but pressed on, reaching the top floor.
ここは私に任せて、アイク様は先に上がっててください。
The cell was empty, and Ike barely dodged an attack from the commander. A brief struggle ensued, ending with Ike subduing her. The commander, confused, questioned Ike's intentions. She asked if he was a demon or a human, leaving Ike in a dilemma about revealing his true identity.
まさかとは思うが、お前、人間か。
With guards closing in, Ike knows he must act quickly. Summoning a powerful magic, he slows time around him, leaving Ali bewildered.
なんだ、感覚がおかしい。時間が止まったのか。
As Ike strides past the guards, he uses his black wind magic to blow them away. But danger lurks behind, using gravity magic to bring the night crashing down. Ali, confused by Ike's actions, suddenly finds herself falling. Ike catches her mid-air, gently placing her on the ground. Ike introduces himself as the commander of the Immortal Brigade, revealing his demon identity. Despite Ali's skepticism, Ike presses on, questioning her about a past assassination attempt. Ali remains defiant, but Ike uses his mind-reading abilities to extract the truth. With the information he needs, he prepares to leave.
このまま帰るのか。何も答えていないぞ。
あなたの心を見せてもらったが、一点の曇りもなかった。
Ike tells Lily it's time to go, despite her protests. Opening a portal, he steps through, leaving Ali puzzled. Back at his mansion, Ike is greeted by Sadi. He hands her a pouch of rice, explaining its benefits over wheat. Ike explains how rice will boost the city's productivity, freeing up farmers for other essential roles.
農業から解放された人間が武器職人やレンガ職人みたいに何かを生産する仕事に就くと、ご飯をお腹いっぱい食べられて税金もいっぱい入ってくるってことだ。
あ、はい。さすがご主人様です。
Commanding Piggy to assemble the troops, Ike addresses his army, revealing a spy within their ranks. Using his mind-reading ability, Ike scans the soldiers' thoughts. He finds a sweating demon, materializes in front of him, and confirms he's the spy.
お前だな、スパイは。
Ike confronts Saphiro, revealing the traitor as Jace, a one-eyed goblin commander. Together, they plan to deliver justice. Ike confronts Jace, who arrogantly boasts about his superior forces, but an explosion interrupts, revealing Saphiro's devastating magic.
真っ暗闇の中に赤い光が落ち、世界の全てを崩壊させる災いの城。あの中にはアイクがあるんじゃったか。ま、なんとか一人じゃ。
Hellfire rains down, scattering the goblins. Amidst the chaos, Ike gives Jace a choice: surrender or face death.
全てを失ってから降伏しますか。
Jace attempts to escape using a smoke grenade, but Ike follows him to the forest. Jace proposes overthrowing the Demon Queen, but Ike refuses. A desperate attack by Jace is easily dodged.
調子に乗るなよ。俺は第7軍団副団長ジェイス様だぞ。なんだこれは。
束縛魔法です。
Saphiro arrives, interrogating Jace for more information. Despite Ike's healing attempts, Jace succumbs to a potent poison.
自業自得じゃな。
哀れと思うのはやはり俺の心がまだ人間である証拠か。これがいずれ俺の足を引っ張ることになるかもしれない。
Ike and Saphiro report to DY, revealing the traitor's identity. They confront Bass, the headless knight and 2nd Battalion commander.
この度の陰謀の首謀者は第3軍団長バステオのようです。我が軍の副団長を抱き込み、我々を、さらには魔王様の首をも狙っていたようです。どうしているの？お前の言い分はどうなのだ？
As the tension rises, Ike and Saphiro prepare for the next battle against this formidable foe. Basteo accuses Saphiro and Ike of killing the vice commander of their battalion to frame him, claiming they conspired against him to seize command. Saphiro, enraged by the accusation, unleashes her magic power, but the Demon Lord urges her to calm down. The Demon Lord steps in, speaking about the nature of power and ambition among demons. She explains that power, wealth, and influence define demons, and warns that if she starts punishing demons for their ambitions, she would soon have no underlings left. The Demon Lord chastises Basteo for his obvious plot, and partly blames Saphiro for her subordinate's actions. She then unleashes magic from her hand, stating that according to military law, she should punish both of them. However, she doesn't want to lose 2 commanders in the middle of a war with humans, nor can she ignore the matter. That's why she announces a duel between the 2 parties, with the victor getting to live, because this is how demons should handle things.
先ほど魔王様より決闘の詳細が届いた。
Saphiro briefs Ike on the duel's details. It will be fought through magic creatures called puppets, with each commander controlling 50 puppets. The winner must defeat all the enemy's puppets, and the loser will die on the spot. Ike is taken aback by the gravity of the situation, but Saphiro reassures him, believing in his skills as a commander. Ike reluctantly accepts the responsibility.
アイク、お前が出ろ。
はあ、わかりました。
The next day, Ike immerses himself in strategy books. He asks Sadi for advice. She suggests using crossbows for their range, which sparks an idea in Ike to create more powerful guns.
以前アーセナムの旦那様がボウガンはすごいとおっしゃってました。
そうだ、あれだ。銃を作ればいいんだ。
Ike asks Saphiro, the most talented alchemist, to create guns. Relaxing by the pool, Saphiro tells Ike she can't make some things without seeing them first. Ike questions her confidence, but she playfully splashes him with water, inviting him to join her for some fun, leaving Ike flustered. Meanwhile, Basteo prepares for the duel with black dragon tooth swords and gets encouraging news from his spy.
戻りました。
守備は
バステオ様の勝利は確実かと。
当然だ。
That night, Ike encounters the Demon Lord, who provides him with the guns he needed. She reveals that she knew all along about his human origins, but kept him alive for his capabilities.
これは
これを探していたのであろう。
The next day, Ike shows Saphiro the guns. She makes bullets, but an explosion occurs due to incorrect sizes. Fiorentina appears, saying they prepared gunpowder as requested. Saphiro makes proper bullets, and Ike asks for 500 more. Saphiro assigns the work to Fiorentina, saying it's bad for her skin.
団長、これをあと500ほど用意してください。
だそうじゃ。細かい作業は肌に悪い。
The day of the duel arrives, and the arena is filled with eager demons. Ike stands before his puppet troops, armed with guns, while Basteo mocks him with his armor-clad puppets.
それでは決闘開始。この手。
The duel begins with Basteo's archers shooting arrows. Ike's puppets defend, but some fall. Basteo's spearmen charge forward, gaining the upper hand. Suddenly, gunshots ring out as Ike's puppets fire their guns, taking down Basteo's armored puppets. The arena falls silent as everyone processes the unexpected turn of events. Basteo's troops are quickly annihilated, and the Demon Lord offers him a choice: die honorably or face her wrath.
ウヌには2つの道を用意してやろう。潔く自害し、名誉の死を遂げるか。世に殺されるかだ。
Basteo, however, had a backup plan, and a hidden archer fires a bomb-tipped arrow at the Demon Lord. The arrow explodes, causing chaos in the arena. In a final desperate move, Basteo's hidden skeleton army attacks.
今日からこの俺が魔王だ。
Romberg traveling through a dense forest when he is suddenly ambushed by a pack of wolves. Using his powerful magic, he swiftly dispatches them. As the dust settles, he discovers a couple who had desperately shielded their baby. To his relief, the baby is alive and unharmed. This tender moment amidst the chaos highlights Romberg's compassion and the contrast between his human heart and his demon surroundings. In the demon arena, chaos reigns supreme. Basteo's forces have launched a brutal rebellion, ruthlessly killing every demon not aligned with them. Explosions and screams fill the air as Basteo observes the carnage, declaring that his rule is about to begin. In the midst of the chaos, we see Ike, devastated by the senseless slaughter of innocent demons. His resolve to stop Basteo strengthens as he witnesses the extent of Basteo's cruelty. Basteo, confident in his impending victory, and extends an offer to Ike. Join him and become the general of the 7th Legion. Ike, unwavering in his loyalty and principles, rejects the offer. Predicting Ike's demise, Basteo orders his soldiers to attack. But Ike, with a powerful wind spell, repels them effortlessly. The battle intensifies as a skeleton uses its head as a bomb to distract Ike. Despite the relentless attacks, Ike blocks the bomb with a barrier and continues to fight valiantly. However, he remains surrounded by Basteo's soldiers, who hurl their spears at him, demonstrating his agility. Ike dodges every spear while flying, then uses a spell called Death Rain from above, severely injuring most of the remaining soldiers. Ike quickly flies towards Basteo, unleashing a point-blank Hell Blast spell. Despite taking the hit directly, Basteo survives and retaliates, attacking Ike from behind. More explosions rock the arena, leading to its gradual destruction. Basteo heals his severed hand, explaining that such attacks won't defeat him, as he is a Dullahan, and his soldiers are undead. He reminds Ike of the formidable Undead Legion as the fallen soldiers rise again to continue the fight. Ike faces an overwhelming number of undead soldiers. Realizing that dark magic is ineffective against them, he knows he needs a new strategy. Just then, an idea strikes him. As the demon soldiers attack, Ike casts a spell with a golden light, obliterating the attacking demons and those nearby. Basteo is baffled by this unexpected turn of events. Meanwhile, archers attempt to shoot Ike again, but Sephiroth intervenes, severing the archer's hand with a swift move. Sephiroth's army arrives, defeating the rest of Basteo's forces. With the battlefield shifting in Ike's favor, the Demon Lord offers Basteo one last chance for survival. Defeat Ike in a duel, and she will spare his life. Basteo, taken aback but determined, charges at Ike. Ike defends with a barrier, countering Basteo's repeated strikes. During the clash, Basteo claims to be stronger and blames the Demon Lord for Ike's situation, mockingly suggesting that Ike should beg for mercy. In a decisive moment, Ike dispels his barrier and leaps to attack Basteo, who counters with a powerful beam, severing Basteo's hand once again. As the battle rages on, Ike has a flashback to his youth. A young Ike stares at a withering flower, lost in thought. Romberg approaches, and later, Ike successfully casts a spell and asks if there's one to revive a withered flower. Romberg explains that such a spell exists in the realm of white magic. Ike expresses interest, but Romberg discourages him, emphasizing that, as a demon, Ike should focus on curse magic. He explains that white magic is challenging for demons because it stems from a heart of mercy, which demons supposedly lack. Knowing Ike has a human heart, Romberg warns him that white magic can be more dangerous than any other weapon, and advises Ike to keep his white magic abilities a secret. Ike agrees. Back in the present, Ike counters Basteo's charge, breaking Basteo's sword in the process. Ike tells Basteo that aspiring to become the Demon Lord was an ambition far beyond his reach. He declares that he cannot forgive Basteo for sacrificing his subordinates' lives for personal gain and attempting to betray his master. Enraged by Ike's audacity, Basteo tries to overpower him, but Ike silences him with a spell using the white magic known as Holy Light of Destruction, purifying Basteo and leaving behind only his armor. Sephiroth approaches Ike, asking if Romberg taught him that magic. Ike confirms, and she expresses relief that he won the duel. The Demon Lord points out a significant problem. Basteo's rebellion has left the Third Legion without a general, and Ike must take responsibility for this. Confused, Ike listens as the Demon Lord tells him to become the new general of the Third Legion. This proposition catches Ike off guard, and the Demon Lord leaves him to ponder the decision. Later, Ike reunites with the soldiers of the Immortal Brigade. The piggy embraces him, crying with relief that he's safe. The scene shifts to Sephiroth, talking to the Demon Lord. She asserts that she should have the authority to manage Ike's appointment. Since she is his superior, the Demon Lord is surprised by her disapproval of Ike's promotion. The Demon Lord decides they should hear directly from Ike when he enters. Ike reveals to the Demon Lord that the citizens of Ivalias are finally adjusting to life alongside humans. Initially confused by the idea of living together, demons and humans have grown accustomed to it. Removing his mask, he openly shares his vision. Ike explains that he still has much to learn from Sephiroth and promises to make Ivalias the first city where humans and demons live together in harmony. The Demon Lord finds this idea quite agreeable. Thanks for watching this epic recap. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling anime content and recaps. Stay tuned for the next adventure. See you in the next video. Welcome back, anime fans. Today we're recapping episode 6 of The Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army Was a Human. Without further ado, let's dive right in. The episode begins with Ike overlooking Ivalias from a high vantage point. Sadi approaches and asks what he's doing. Ike explains he's been researching the land and discovered they can use the Norfolk system with the local soil and climate. Sadi is confused, so Ike explains it's a farming technique that allows continuous crop growth without letting fields rest. He simplifies it by saying she can eat all the turnips she wants. Which excites Sadi. Ike shares his vision of creating a town where humans and demons can live together peacefully. The scene shifts to a fierce battle where the human army achieves a landslide victory against the attacking demons. This victory boosts their morale as they continue defending their towns. Back in the fields, Ike uses his magic to make it rain. He explains to Sadi that they currently rotate between wheat and grass for livestock, which leaves fields fallow for long periods. With the Norfolk system, they'll rotate between barley, clover, wheat, and turnips, ensuring continuous crop growth. Sadi inquires about eating clover, but Ike clarifies it's for the livestock. This innovation means neither humans nor demons will go hungry, and everyone is happy to hear this. During Ike's study, Sadi is congratulating Ike on his promotion to vice commander. Ike downplays it, saying the position was simply available. Suddenly, Piggy rushes in with urgent news about the Alliance of Kings. After a brief scolding for not addressing Ike by his new title, Piggy reports that the Alliance's army started moving last night and defeated the Second Corps at Alesa. This is alarming because the Second Corps was known for their skill and ferocity. Ike explains the significance of the Alliance of Kings to Sati, a historic treaty where nations unite against the demon army when it becomes too strong. Piggy worries about their safety, especially since Ivalias might be the Alliance's next target. Ike shares his concerns about their ability to defend Ivalias and Arsenal, knowing that the humans' numerical advantage and coordination pose a serious threat. He concludes that their only hope lies in acquiring guns. The scene cuts to Fiorentina, demonstrating an alchemically made gun to Ike and Saphiro. These guns, while powerful, break after a single use. Saphiro argues they should use magic instead, but Ike insists on weapons that anyone can wield. Fiorentina suggests that mass-producing parts separately could work, but they'll need dwarves to help. Saphiro agrees, but highlights that the dwarves are scattered. Ike proposes freeing the Dwarf King, currently held captive in Ismuth Kingdom. The scene shifts to the dwarf, King Gunther, imprisoned, reflects on his people's defeat and their forced servitude after the humans took his son hostage. Despite their resistance, the dwarves had to comply to save themselves. Lilith arrives, frees him, and puts him to sleep when he questions her. Piggy carries Gunther as they escape, but their noise attracts guards. Lilith uses her powers to incapacitate them, ignoring Piggy's concerns about avoiding fights. They make it out, but Piggy, anxious, worries about their disobedience. Ike, noticing the commotion, uses magic to stop the soldiers and chides Piggy for being rough with Gunther. Gunther wakes up in a house in Ivalias, confused about his release. Ike shows him a gun and asks if he can make more. Although Gunther is intrigued, he refuses to work for demons, fearing he'll be used like before. Ike explains his goal of peaceful coexistence between humans and demons and offers to help rebuild the Dwarf Kingdom in exchange for Gunther's help with firearms. Gunther doubts Ike's sincerity, but Ike takes him to a smithy where dwarves are working on guns. Gunther is surprised to see his people, including his son, thriving under the demon's protection.
父さん、ギュンター様。バット様、それにお前たち、どうして？突然魔族たちに連れてこられて、もうダメかと思ったんですが、ここで家と食事をもらってよ、みんなと再会できたんだ。おお、本当によう助けてくれたんですね。
もう一度聞きます。私の野望に協力してくれますか？
Impressed by Ike's commitment, Gunther agrees to help. They shake hands, and Gunther notes that Ike's hands are surprisingly warm for a demon.
魔族なのに温かい手を持っておる。
Sati tries to prepare tea for him, but he tells her to rest. Sati declines, saying she prefers to stay busy. Ike suggests she read some books, but Sati reveals she can't read. Ike offers to teach her when he has time.
執務の合間に文字を教えてやろう。
本当ですか？嬉しいです。
Just then, Lilith barges in and accuses Sati of trying to seduce Ike. The two women argue, but Ike calms them down.
ご主人様のためにお仕事をしていただけです。
はあ、調子に乗ってる？
Piggy then rushes in with news that the Alliance army has gathered outside Ivalias. The episode ends with the Alliance army preparing to attack Ivalias. The general is informed about the Dwarf King's escape but dismisses it, confident in their numerical superiority.
ほう、魔族が何を考えておるか知らんが、あんな老いぼれに何ができる？
The humans have 12,000 men, while Ivalias only has 500, with more brigade commanders arriving soon. The general believes they cannot lose this battle.
我々の兵力はどのくらい集まった？ 12大隊を編成して12000です。さあ、出発するか。
Piggy's struggling to climb a steep cliff. After a hard-fought ascent, he finally reaches the top, where Ike praises him for his hard work. The piggy, feeling a bit envious, thinks Ike has it easy since he can simply levitate. Ike jokes that the climb might have helped the piggy shed some weight. The piggy then asks if they've reached their destination, and the miner with them confirms that they have arrived. They've reached a cave, and inside, they find the natural niter they've been searching for.
これだな、天然硝石。
We then shift to the dwarves, who have been working tirelessly to craft a formidable arsenal of guns. The scene showcases the impressive efficiency of the dwarven craftsmen, as we see rows upon rows of newly created firearms ready for battle. The piggy takes the lead, instructing the forces on how to properly fire the guns. He's taken aback by the sheer power of these weapons, which could very well turn the tide in the upcoming conflict. As the soldiers practice with the guns, the piggy can't hide his excitement, thinking to himself that these weapons might just be their secret weapon. As this training continues, the scene cuts to the arrival of other battalions in Ivalias, all gathering to meet with Ike. The tension builds as these new forces prepare to contribute to the looming battle. The scene shifts to Ike in a strategy meeting with the newly arrived battalion leaders. One of them is curious about how Ike managed to repair the gate so quickly, and Ike explains that he set up shift work and paid the humans, a strategy that worked better than post labor. The werewolf leader is impressed by this approach. Suddenly, a flying army commander crashes through the roof, complaining that the place is too small. Ike calmly explains that it's built for humans. Fiorentina then announces that Ike has been given command of the upcoming battle by Sephiro, and all must follow his orders. The other commanders, aware of Ike's power after hearing of his defeat of Basteo, have no objections.
我ら三人、副団長に従おう。
ありがたい。
Concern arises as the flying demon mentions the enemy's 12,000 soldiers compared to their 2,000. The werewolf suggests that each of their soldiers just needs to take down 6 humans. Ike, however, points out that not all their forces are as strong as the werewolf brigade. The flying demon proposes a night raid, but Ike vetoes this, explaining that the human army likely has mages using detection magic. When asked for his plan, Ike reveals that he intends to fight the battle here, using the enemy's large numbers against them. He plans to let the enemy's morale peak before striking decisively, aiming to end the war swiftly with minimal casualties.
ここを攻めさせ、奴らの士気が頂点に達したとき、一気に刈り取る。
As the human army advances, back in Ivalias, Sadi and the piggy are cleaning up the mess left by the flying demon. Meanwhile, Ike is busy planning the war strategy. Sadi mentions how lively the city has become, and reassures Ike that she isn't scared, knowing that everyone here is fighting to protect the city. Ike, touched by her resolve, assists her in finding a recipe for fried rice, knowing that good food can boost morale.
米があったな。
はい。たくさん取れました。ご主人様のノーフォーク農法のおかげですね。
これを試してみるか。
Sadi prepares the dish, and just as she and Ike are about to taste it, the piggy and Lilith arrive, eager to try the food. They all enjoy the meal, though Ike, hidden behind his mask, refrains from eating in front of them.
おかわりください。いっぱい食べて、いっぱい栄養とってくださいね。つまり太れってこと。
Ike's preparations pay off as his army stands ready for battle. As the human army arrives, the demons are fully prepared at their battle stations. Ike motivates his troops, reminding them that if Ivalias falls, Arsenum will be next. The human general, however, dismisses the demons' defenses, seeing this battle as more of a crusade than a war. He orders his troops to attack with catapults, but Ike's barrier magic holds strong. The demons are encouraged by Ike's defense, but the human general is unfazed, preparing for another round of attacks.
もう一度だ。
Despite the demons' initial success in holding the line, the human mages dispel Ike's barrier, causing significant damage. The humans launch a brutal assault, but the demons, led by Ike's strategic mind, retaliate fiercely. An ogre crushes many human soldiers, and while the demons continue their counterattack, the humans manage to push forward. The battle becomes increasingly chaotic as both sides take heavy losses.
それまでに終わらせ。もう一度カタパルトだ。それでは我が軍にも被害が。構わん。
まさか味方ごと。
The human general, however, remains confident, ordering yet another catapult strike that breaches the fortress walls. The demons are injured, and Ike, furious at the senseless carnage, prepares to launch a counter-offensive as the humans push deeper into Ivalias. The general of the human army, calmly sipping tea, confident in his impending victory. He eagerly anticipates wrapping up the battle soon. With a wave of his hand, the commander sends in the third squad to join the attack on the demons. Meanwhile, Ike, the demon army's vice commander, is surprised by the speed and intensity of the humans' assault, but remains determined to turn the tide. While the battle rages on, Sadi is tending to the wounded. Seeing the brutal state of the war, she quietly hopes that Ike is safe. We then shift to Lilith, who is fighting valiantly against the humans, but is quickly overwhelmed by their sheer numbers. The other demons are also struggling under the relentless assault. Piggy, the leader of the gun squad, prepares to make a move, but hesitates, fearing he might accidentally hit his own men amidst the chaos. Just when things seem dire, the werewolf battalion charges into the fray, tearing through the human soldiers with ease. Despite the humans' attempts to increase their numbers against each demon, they are no match for the werewolf's ferocity. The gun squad finally opens fire, and the humans' shields are useless against the bullets, which pierce right through them. The human soldiers, terrified of these strange weapons, begin to retreat. The werewolves are eager to chase down the fleeing humans, but Ike calls them back. Beo, disappointed by this decision, recalls Ike's earlier strategy meeting. Ike had emphasized the importance of a quick and decisive war, with as few casualties as possible. Beo was skeptical of the plan at first, but now sees its wisdom as the demons are able to conserve their strength for later stages of the battle.
最小の被害で終わらせます。
副団長になってからって俺たちをバカにしてるのか。だとしたら。いいよ。続けてください。それだけではないのでしょう。
今回の作戦、即戦即決はそもそも我々の被害も抑えることを目的としています。それを忘れないでください。今回の戦は。
Back in the present, some human soldiers attempt to breach the wall, but Fiorentina uses her alchemy to create demon spikes, sealing the breach. She notes that everything is going according to Ike's plan.
ここまで作戦通り。
フィオレンティーナの錬金術師隊やジロンの鉄砲隊の出番です。彼らに敵部隊を誘導してもらうことで攻め込ませる場所を最小限にするのです。
Meanwhile, the Ogre Battalion breaks through another part of the wall, crushing the humans with their overwhelming strength. Fiorentina is frustrated that they broke the wall she just fixed, but remembers that Ike had anticipated such deviations from the plan. As the Ogre Battalion continues their assault, the human army retreats in the face of their power. During the strategy meeting, Ike had predicted this outcome and planned for Gamos, the leader of the Ogre Battalion, to take over after Beo's battalion withdrew. Ike's strategy of fighting in shifts is designed to keep the demons at full strength while exhausting the humans.
戦闘は長引けば消耗するのは当然。そこで順番に敵に当たることで敵を撹乱消耗させつつ、こちらだけが常に最大の力を発揮するのです。
頭使ってんだね。
Back at the human camp, the general is furious at the unexpected resistance. Despite his commander's advice to withdraw and rethink their strategy, the general insists on an all-out attack. He even decides to join the battle himself to boost morale. The soldiers, inspired by their general's decision, march towards the fort with renewed determination. As the humans advance, they are suddenly stopped by a massive crack in the ground, created by demon magic. Many soldiers fall into the chasm, while others are captured by the demons. The human general, now alone, is confronted by Ike, who reveals that the demon army suffered casualties to pinpoint the general's location. Ike offers to spare the general's life if he orders his forces to retreat immediately. Before the general can respond, Gunther, the Dwarven king, attacks him with his axe, bringing him to his knees. Gunther seeks revenge for past wrongs, but Ike stops him with magic, insisting that the general be spared. Realizing his dire situation, the general orders his soldiers to retreat. With the humans retreating, the demons celebrate their victory over an army 10 times their size. Piggy, overjoyed, hugs Ike, and Lilith and Sadi soon join in. The battalion leaders acknowledge Ike's strategic brilliance and are grateful for his leadership. Elsewhere, Sephiroth, who had been monitoring the reserve forces, sees the humans retreating and reflects on Ike's cunning. She declares that while they have won this battle, the war is not yet over, leaving the next steps to the Demon Lord. Sephiroth commends Ike for his victory, praising his leadership during the battle. But Ike, ever the humble warrior, insists it was all thanks to the participation of the 7th Legion. Sephiroth can't help but admire his modesty, but she has a new mission for him, one that could determine the fate of the entire Demon Lord's army. Sephiroth explains that Zenobia, a powerful trade city, is crucial to the survival of the demon army. The human forces are preparing for an attack, and without adequate food supplies, the demon army could be in serious trouble. Ike realizes that Sephiroth is sending him to negotiate with the Federation leader of Zenobia. This isn't just any mission, it's a diplomatic challenge that could decide the outcome of the war.
戦が本格化してからは食料が不足気味じゃ。お前には連合と通商条約について相談して、イバリアスのことは心配せず、バラワがおる。ついでに遠出を楽しんでこい。
相変わらず無理なんだよおっしゃる。人間が魔族と直接交渉に応じますか？
But before Ike can embark on this dangerous journey, there's some internal conflict to resolve. Lilith and the piggy barge into Ike's office, determined to accompany him to Zenobia. A humorous yet tense argument erupts between the two, each wanting to be the one to protect Ike. Despite their loyalty, Ike insists that they stay behind. The town of Ivalias has become a refuge for the homeless and the displaced, leading to more fights and unrest. Ike assigns Lilith to keep the peace and appoints Piggy to help govern the city. After a lot of back and forth, they reluctantly agree to stay behind, showing just how much they trust Ike's leadership.
最前線のこの町を任せられるのはお前たちしかいない。頼んだぞ。
やっぱ治安は他のやつに任せてついていっちゃダメですか？
俺も統治なんて自信ないですよ。
少しは自力で頑張れ。
頑張ります。
たく。
And so the journey to Zenobia begins. Accompanying Ike on this mission is Sadi, who feels a bit guilty about leaving Lilith and Piggy behind. But Ike reassures her. This mission is too important for personal feelings to get in the way. As they travel, Sadi asks Ike about Zenobia. Ike explains that Zenobia isn't just a city. It's a confederation of cities that thrive on trade. Their warm climate allows them to grow unique crops, making them a key trading partner. Sadi is curious about the abundance of fruits and vegetables, but Ike quickly reminds her that their mission is far more serious than sightseeing. The fate of the demon army depends on their success.
ご主人様、目的地のゼノビアはどんな国なんですか？
商業によって栄えているが、温暖な気候を生かした南方特有の農作物、香辛料なども取り扱っている。ゼノビアには全てがあるんだ。魔王軍の命運を左右する全てだ。食料の補給がなければ小王同盟軍との戦に負ける。魔王軍の勝敗は 俺の交渉次第ということだ。
Just when it seems the journey will be uneventful, Ike and Sadi hear cries of distress. They rush to the scene and find a carriage under attack by the notorious pirates. Despite the odds, Ike's powerful magic quickly subdues the pirates, saving the young lady inside the carriage. The young woman, Yuria Octave, turns out to be the daughter of Zenobia's leader. She's immediately smitten by Ike's strength and kindness. It's a chance encounter that may just change the course of the negotiations ahead.
はじめまして。私の名前はユリア・オクターブ。ゼノビア代表の娘です。
こちらこそ、ゼノビアまで同乗させていただき、助かります。
Upon arriving in Zenobia, Ike and Sadi are introduced to Yuria's mother, Eloria Octave, the leader of the Trade Federation. Eloria is no fool. She quickly deduces Ike's true identity, realizing he's a human who serves the demon army. Ike explaining his mission and his desire for peace between humans and demons. But Eloria isn't convinced so easily. She acknowledges the risks of dealing with demons and demands proof that they can be trusted. Without any solid evidence, Ike's negotiation seems doomed until he offers a bold solution. He'll defeat the pirates and rid Zenobia of their menace.
現在、通商連合は海賊に大変困っているようですね。俺がその海賊を退治してみせます。
魔王軍が海賊を退治？
はい。
Eloria is intrigued by Ike's proposal, but she has two conditions. First, Ike must eliminate the pirates. Second, and more shocking, she proposes that Ike marry her daughter.
よかろう。ならば改めて考えてやってもいい。ただし条件がある。一つは宣言通り海賊を退治すること。もう一つは、我が娘ユリアをめとってもらう。
Ike is understandably shocked by this sudden marriage proposal, but before they can discuss it further, disaster strikes. The pirates launch a full-scale invasion of Zenobia's port, causing chaos and destruction. Ike rushes to defend the city, but the pirates have already caused significant damage. With the situation growing more dire, Ike formulates a plan to set a trap for the pirates. Meanwhile, Sadi, eager to help, ends up in the kitchen. But her day takes a dark turn when she's kidnapped by the pirates. The pirates believe Sadi is Yuria and plan to deliver her to their captain, Karasa. Sadi is now trapped, far from Ike, with little hope of escape.
こいつは船長も満足なさるだろうね。何せゼノビア代表の娘なんだからよ。
ご主人様、私はここにいます。ご主人様。
With Zenobia under attack and Sadi in the clutches of the pirates, Ike's mission just got a whole lot more complicated. Will he be able to defeat the pirates, secure a trade deal with Zenobia, and rescue Sadi? Enter Karasa, the ruthless pirate captain, whose very presence sends shivers down Sadi's spine. As he strides toward her, his eyes gleam with twisted amusement, mistakenly believing she is the daughter of Zenobia's leader. But even as his subordinate informs him of the error, Karasa's interest doesn't wane. For Sadi, this mistake spells out her doom, trapped in a dangerous game where her only role is to serve her captor. Meanwhile, in Zenobia, Ike is a man on a mission. Upon learning of Sadi's capture, he doesn't hesitate. His resolve is ironclad. Marching into Eltria's office, he demands the resources to mount a rescue. Eltria, recognizing Ike's determination, grants him a ship and a crew, knowing full well the risks. As Ike sets sail, his thoughts are consumed by memories of Sadi, the way she smiled, the trust she placed in him. With every wave that crashes against the ship, his resolve only strengthens. He will bring her back. Back on the pirate ship, Sadi finds herself forced into a humiliating role. Dressed in a provocative maid outfit, her dignity stripped away. Karasa, reveling in his power, explains her new duties with a sinister grin. But Sadi, though frightened, refuses to be a mere victim. She remembers Ike's words, his promise to protect her if she cooked and cleaned for him. In the kitchen, Sadi's mind races. Every ingredient she touches, every movement she makes, is calculated. She requests some strong liquor, claiming it's needed for the seasoning, a request the pirates reluctantly grant. As the flames of the stove flicker, Sadi's heart pounds. She pours the liquor into the pan, the flames roaring to life. And in that moment, she strikes. In the ensuing chaos, Sadi seizes her chance. She slips past the distracted guards, her breath coming in short, panicked gasps as she dashes down the corridor. But this is just the beginning of her daring escape. Sadi's escape leads her to a storage room where she stumbles upon the pirates' ill-gotten treasures. But she doesn't see riches. She sees an opportunity. A fire, she thinks, a fire that will light up the sky and signal Ike to her location. As the fire spreads, panic grips the pirate crew. Carassa, distracted by his own lecherous thoughts, is finally jolted to reality when he's informed that his ship is burning. The flames dance around him. Hiding in a barrel, Sadi prays that Ike will see the smoke, that he'll understand the message she's sending. But just as hope flickers in her heart, she's discovered by the pirates, dragged back to face Carassa's wrath. Bound and helpless, Sadi faces the grim reality of her situation. Carassa, his face twisted in anger, orders a brutal punishment, an axe raised to sever her leg. But just as the axe is about to fall, Ike appears, his presence commanding and fierce. His vow to protect Sadi echoes across the burning deck. In that moment, Ike and Sadi are finally reunited. She rushes to his side. Carassa, now enraged, orders his remaining men to eliminate Ike. Echoes across the burning deck, his magic unleashing a storm of lightning that decimates the attacking pirates. Carassa, seeing Ike's power, knows he's facing a formidable opponent. Desperate to regain control, he unleashes a powerful water spell. But Ike is no ordinary mage. With skill and precision, Ike counters Carassa's spells, his magic far more potent than anything the pirate captain can muster. The battle rages on, the ship creaking under the strain of their power. But Ike remains calm, focused, until the moment he unleashes his true strength. In a final, breathtaking display of magic, Ike's spell explodes across the ship, shattering it into pieces. Carassa is flung across the deck like a ragdoll, landing with a thud on Ike's ship. With Carassa defeated, Ike and Sadi return to Zenobia, their journey finally at an end. They captured the pirates alive on their ship and brought them back to town. Although Eltria is impressed by Ike's success, she is well aware of the dangers that still lurk in the shadows. She hands over the trade treaty, a symbol of their fragile alliance, but cautions Ike to keep the demon's involvement a secret. The world is not ready for such revelations, and one wrong move could plunge them all into chaos. But while Ike secures the treaty, the battle on the front lines takes a dire turn. The demon army, once confident, is now on the brink of defeat. Sephiro, the commander, is wounded but unyielding. With every passing moment, their chances of survival dwindle, but Sephiro's spirit remains unbroken. As the battle rages, Sephiro orders one final attack, a desperate move to turn the tide. Back in Zenobia, the atmosphere is significantly lighter. A grand celebration is underway to honor Ike and Sadi's triumph, with townsfolk wholeheartedly reveling in their hero's success. Laughter and music fill the air, momentarily dispelling the lingering shadows of recent events. However, the joyous occasion takes an unexpected turn when Eltria steps forward with a mischievous smile and announces, "This celebration is also a betrothal ceremony." Ike and Sadi's faces register shock and confusion as the crowd erupts in cheers. The sudden announcement takes everyone by surprise. especially Ike, who barely has time to process the news before he tries to respond. But just as Ike begins to explain, the Demon Lord appears, commanding the room with her presence. Instantly, the mood shifts from celebration to tension. Her message is urgent. Sephiroth's forces are in dire need of help, and only Ike can turn the tide. With little time to waste, Ike must leave the party and prepare for another battle, leaving everyone stunned by the rapid turn of events. We are introduced to Radal, an enemy commander. One of his soldiers remarks that Alesta will soon fall. Confident in his impending victory, Radal decides it is time for him to personally join the battle. On the battlefield, Sephiroth and her comrades fight bravely, but they are overwhelmed by the sheer number of enemy forces. Arrows rain down, and many of Sephiroth's soldiers are struck down, including their leader, Fiorentina. The enemy soldier mocks Fiorentina, saying she is tough for a demon, but is now finished. We then see Ike back at home, preparing for battle by donning his mask and armor. Just as he's about to leave, Piggy arrives with urgent news. The Alliance of Kings has launched a full-scale attack on the kingdom. Ike steps out onto the balcony and sees that their current location has also been attacked. Piggy explains that a mysterious girl saved them. He describes her as an incredibly strong young woman who single-handedly defeated all the enemies. Back in the room, Ike informs Piggy that he will head to Alesta immediately to support Sephiroth's army. Ike asks how many forces are available, and Piggy responds that with 100 soldiers wounded from the previous attack, only about 500 are left. He adds that they must leave some of these forces behind to prevent another attack, meaning fewer than 500 will actually be available for the mission. Upon hearing this, Ike concludes that they must handle the situation alone, as Gamos, Bayo, Kushana, and their respective brigades are all engaged in other areas. As Ike readies his forces, Gunther, a dwarf warrior, arrives and offers his help, eager to repay his debt to Ike. Ike tells him that he has already repaid his debt by making the guns. Gunther clarifies that he is not the one who made the guns. They were made by dwarven craftsmen. He said there are around 100 dwarven warriors in this city, as well as craftsmen, who will serve him well in battle. Ike then says that this battle has nothing to do with the dwarves. However, Gunther responds, "If the Demon Lord's army wins and unifies the world, they will establish a state for us dwarves. That's why we stand with you." Ike replies, "But right now, we cannot fulfill that promise because the Demon Lord's army is struggling." Despite this, Gunther agrees, saying, "You have given a home to all the dwarves who were wandering the land, and now I need to repay your kindness. Dwarves are a race that never forgets those who helped them." Ike thanks him for this. The human villagers stepped forward, expressing their wish to join Ike on the battlefield. Angered, Piggy struck one of them, saying, "Humans can't fight." The villager replied, "We don't know how long this war will last, but we must protect ourselves. Since Ike took over, our lives have improved, and without his help, we would have starved or turned to banditry. Now, we want to repay his kindness," Piggy protested, saying demons couldn't accept human help. Suddenly, Lilith appeared, kicked Piggy and said, "Someone like you has no right to tell Ike what to do." Sadi supported her, and together they forced Piggy to apologize. After reflecting, Ike said, "Thank you all. We will split our forces. Some will go to Alesta, while others stay to guard the castle. If the Alliance of Kings attacks again, surrender. Don't resist and endanger yourselves. I don't want any of you harmed. You are all important to me." With the forces gathered, Ike and his army march towards Alesta to support Sephiroth. The trek takes about 4 days, and fortunately, their battalion grows in size along the way, thanks to the support of various allies. However, the enemy still vastly outnumbers them. forcing Ike and his companions to devise a strategy before they arrive at their destination. The scene shifts to the heart of the battle, where the fighting is fierce and explosions echo all around. Despite their best efforts, the ranks of the Demon Lord's army begin to crumble under the sheer number of enemy forces. Sephiroth, seeing the dire situation, warns that they will be defeated if they cannot separate the enemies inside the walls from those outside. She considers using magic to gain an advantage but hesitates, knowing it could harm the orc troops fighting alongside them. As she strategizes, she is suddenly struck by a powerful blow. Knocking her to the ground, the human army's commander approaches, mocking her as his soldiers surround her. Enraged, she summons her magic, causing roots to ensnare the soldiers, allowing her a moment to escape. However, the commander lands another strong blow, but she surprises him by blocking it. She quickly uses the roots as a barrier and manages to escape to a higher position. Exhausted from the intense fight, she begins to lose her balance. Desperate, she decides to unleash her true power but needs time to recite the necessary rituals. Just as she begins, a treacherous arrow strikes her directly, causing her to fall from the high ground. The soldiers and the commander, who had targeted her, quickly move in and surround her once more. The next morning, the humans had fully taken control of the situation. Orcs were tortured and burned one by one, their suffering a grim display of the enemy's dominance. Meanwhile, the human commander descended into the cell where Sephiroth was imprisoned. He wondered aloud if she had died yet, but the guard assured him that demons were tough and she was still alive. The guard offered to kill her immediately, if that was his wish. But Sephiroth interrupted, defiantly telling them not to underestimate her. The commander then addressed her, revealing that they had met before. He reminisced about their first encounter, where he was on horseback. Sephiroth responded with regret, saying, "If I had killed you back then, I wouldn't be in this humiliating predicament now." As the conversation unfolded, Sephiroth realized his true plan, to lure Ike and the entire 7th Legion into a trap by using her as bait, only to crush them upon arrival. Fury surged through her, and she yelled at him to kill her immediately, unable to bear the humiliation any longer. But the commander, Rodel, coldly refused. Left in the darkness, Sephiroth was deeply saddened and whispered, "I'm sorry, Ike." Ike led his army through the wilderness, camping after a long day. While his troops rested, he focused on planning their next move. The next morning, they marched on, ready for the challenges ahead. Later, Gunther informs Ike and Lilith that demons and humans are starting to fight in harmony, and the experimental weapons are ready. Nervous about the battle, Gunther asks when to attack. Ike explains the situation is still uncertain and mentions sending Piggy on a reconnaissance mission. They'll hold a strategy meeting once Piggy returns. Piggy and his scouts notice something unusual while surveying the enemy. Meanwhile, Lilith's eagerness to end the war contrasts with Piggy's somber mood when he returns to Ike. At Alesta, they discover Sephiroth's clothes hanging like a noose. Gunther, worried, asks Ike what to do next. Ike realizes Sephiroth is still alive, explaining that they rushed here, fearing they'd find her dead. Gunther suggests the scene might be a trick, but Ike remains certain they need to act quickly. After learning that Rodel, the skilled commander of the Red Dragon Brigade, leads the enemy forces, Ike concludes they must attack, even though it's a trap. He suspects Sephiroth is being used as bait, but could be too injured to move. With no time to waste, Ike turns to his companions, requesting Gunther and Lilith's help. They'll launch their attack at dawn, the human guard on watch, when suddenly a green spiral gun materializes out of nowhere and fires toward the tower. Realizing it's an enemy attack, the soldiers scramble to prepare their defenses, but the firepower exceeds their capabilities. Rudel, the human commander, requests a status update and learns that part of the wall has been destroyed, though the damage is contained. He also discovers that the enemy has just over 500 soldiers. Initially, his vice commander is not overly concerned, but Rudel warns him not to underestimate the demons and orders him to gather all their forces. The humans cautiously launch their catapults, inflicting damage on the demon army. However, Ike quickly deploys a shield to protect his forces and urges them to hold out until Sephiroth and the injured demons inside the castle can escape. After several minutes of attacking, Rudel orders his men to cease fire because he senses something is off about this battle. On the surface, it should be an easy victory for him if he assaults Ike with his main force, but he cannot determine what Ike is planning. Normally, Ike would be trying to breach the city defenses to rescue Sephiroth, but his squad has barely moved, and he lacks the men or firepower for a rescue operation. Being a skilled commander, Ike must have realized this as well, which suggests he has a different plan in mind. Rudel then asks the vice commander about the situation with the prisoners in the basement. The vice commander assures him that the prisoners are under strict supervision. But just in case, Rudel decides to send Valtel down there as a backup. Meanwhile, down in the basement, one of the guards is relieved from duty. As he walks away, we see the new guard mock Sephiroth, taunting her that her allies have arrived but will soon be wiped out. He then plans to inflict cruel and unusual torture on her for his own amusement. However, before he can act, Lilith appears and grabs him from behind and drains the life out of him. Once the guard is incapacitated, Lilith kneels in front of Sephiroth and apologizes for taking so long to rescue her. Ike realizes that Rudel has stopped attacking, which means he must have caught on to their plan. Gunther asks if it's time to attack in full force yet, but Ike says they need to be a little more patient and buy more time. Ike then launches more wind blasts at the wall to bait Rudel into attacking him again. Rudel, aware of Ike's strategy, requests a status update on their troops. He learns that their infantry, cavalry, and archers are all ready to attack immediately. And with this information, he is confident that Ike's team won't advance any further. Rudel orders his soldiers to resume attacking, intending to gradually wear down Ike's squad until they can annihilate him. Meanwhile, Rudel's soldiers, who were tasked with guarding Fiorentina and the other demons, become concerned that the situation might spiral out of control. They start to consider killing the prisoners to prevent any potential escape. Before they can act, a spell is cast on them, putting them to sleep. Lilith then appears, carrying Sephiroth. Fiorentina is overjoyed to see that Sephiroth is all right. She runs up to her and apologizes for not being able to prevent her capture. Sephiroth reassures Fiorentina that she has nothing to apologize for and expresses her gratitude that everyone is still alive. Lilith then tells them that there isn't enough time for a reunion, so Fiorentina stands up and says she'll leave the rest to Lilith. However, in the next moment, Fiorentina is shot in the back with an arrow, causing her already weakened body to collapse. The arrow was fired by Valtel's squadron, which had been sent to ensure the prisoners did not escape. Valtel intended for the demons to cower in fear, but to his surprise, Lilith starts laughing hysterically because everything is unfolding exactly as Ike had predicted. Confused, Valtel asks Lilith what she means, so she directs his attention to Piggy standing next to him. Valtel is shocked and simply backs away, asks how Piggy got there. Piggy says he walked in through the front door with a few magic tricks involved. Meanwhile, Lilith uses magic to send a signal to Ike. As soon as Ike receives it, he uses magic to teleport the firing squad into the castle along with Piggy. Recognizing the guns and their deadly potential, Valtel realizes it's too late to warn his troops. The soldiers are quickly shot and taken down. Once the firing squad runs out of ammunition, Valtel attempts to rally the remaining troops to attack, but his efforts are thwarted as the remaining orcs launch a devastating counterattack. Lilith advises the orcs not to overdo it, as they have other tasks to complete before they can escape. As the battle rages on, Sephiroth is desperately trying to save Fiorentina, who, before passing out, apologizes for failing her. Enraged by the loss of her subordinate, Sephiroth directs her fury at Valtel, exploding her wand and stepping on his throat. The soldiers, witnessing her brutal attack on Valtel, immediately flee. However, Sephiroth is not satisfied and prepares to chase down and eliminate every last soldier. Before she can proceed, Lilith steps in front of her and begs her to calm down. Sephiroth initially refuses, but hesitates when Lilith mentions that the orders come from Ike. Reluctantly, she agrees to listen. Meanwhile, Piggy lifts Fiorentina's body and informs Sephiroth that she is still alive and needs medical attention. He asks the others to continue the mission without him. A short time later, Rudel receives word that demons have breached the city wall, freed the prisoners, and appeared out of thin air, likely due to Ike's magic. They then hear a loud explosion within the wall and see Piggy's firing squad causing havoc among the human soldiers. Sephiroth blows up all the heavy artillery, further devastating the human forces, causing Rudel's plan to collapse. After sufficiently damaging the enemy troops, Piggy signals Ike with a flare gun. Seeing the signal, Ike tells Gunther to launch their attack. Gunther, having prepared several barrels of gunpowder, sends gargoyles to drop them on the human forces. Piggy and Lilith, aware of the impending disaster, instruct their allies to stop fighting and escape through the gaps in the wall before it's too late. Rudel spots the gargoyles flying overhead, carrying suspicious barrels. He's unsure of their purpose, but knows it can't be good, so he immediately orders his men to fall back. Moments later, the gargoyles begin dropping the barrels, which erupt into fiery explosions upon hitting the ground, further destroying Rudel's defenses. Sensing an opportunity, Ike commands his forces to launch an all-out offensive. Meanwhile, Rudel scrambles to manage the damage from his recent losses, but he has no time to regroup. He's soon informed that Ike's forces are advancing. Realizing they stand no chance of winning a full-scale attack at this point, Rudel orders an immediate retreat. Although he admits defeat for today, he vows to return and ensure he never loses to Ike again. After the battle, the demon army occupies the city and starts rebuilding. The platoon commanders arrive, surprised to see humans working alongside demons. Sephiroth explains they're citizens of Ivalias who saved her and deserve respect. Fiorentina recovers, and though the leaders feel guilty for not helping, Sephiroth reassures them it wasn't their fault. Then, Piggy delivers a letter from Rudel, praising Ike as a worthy rival. Ike responds respectfully, expressing hope they meet as friends in the future. Suddenly, the Demon Lord appears. Piggy is shocked, as rumors depict the Demon Lord as a terrifying beast. Ike apologizes for his subordinate's actions, but she says it's fine since few know her true appearance. Piggy remembers the Demon Lord is the mysterious girl who saved Ivalias days ago. The Demon Lord then praises Sephiroth and promotes Ike to commander of the 8th Corps.
団長アイ君、第8軍団団長に任命する。
And that's a wrap on today's breakdown. If you love the journey, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more epic anime content. What series do you want us to dive into next? We're eager to hear your suggestions in the comments. And don't forget to share this video with your fellow anime fans. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, keep that anime spirit alive until we meet again.